Hi and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you a lookup formula that will return several answers on this cell. So normally you do lookup formula and then the answer will be a unique number or just one answer. But in this case, it's the reverse. You have a criteria here and then the answers will reflect here, all the results, all the answers. So we're going to use some formula here. But first, let me just explain my example. So this is a list of equipment with its particular capacity. So my criteria here, it's a changing cell. So when you choose bucket size here, the list of equipment with that capacity will reflect on this cells here. So in order to do that, we're going to use now the index function. So we're going to use the index here. And then the array will be this part. We wanted to return the name of the brand and model, comma. Let me go back on this part. The comma, it requires a row number. So the row number here is not the ordinary 1, 2, 3 row number in here. This is quite challenging because it requires several position of the row. Because, for example, we have a criteria of 1 CUM here. It has several row position here. So to do that, let me escape and the index function here, and we'll just go back to that. And first here, we're gonna solve the row number. So in order to do that, let me proceed first with the row. And the reference here, I'm gonna use my reference on my example here. I'll choose all the range here, and then just stop on that. Let me check it. What's the answer? F9. So that's a several row position, which is equivalent to this part, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I don't want that. I want a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that kind of sequence in my row. So escape F2. I'm going to minus the first reference on my reference row here, and then stop there. And then check it. This is equivalent to 6. Of course, it's 6. Then let me just check it again. So it's now 6 minus 6 equals 0. 7 minus 6 equals 0. Let me check it again if that is the case. F9, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Now I don't want to use 0 here because I didn't use my header. I wanted to start with 1, 2, 3, and so on. Escape F2. I'm gonna add 1 in here. Just check it again. F9. That's it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the row position that I want in here. So the next thing is to add the criteria here. So I'm gonna use a division here so that to test this particular row position, if it's equal to the criteria. So I'm going to use the division here, open parenthesis. If this criteria is equal to this particular range, the capacity, close it. Now enter it. That's a value. Let me check what we added here, this particular formula. At 9, that is a true or false value. True means yes, this first row is equal to this capacity. False, not equal. So that's it. Several true and false in here. Escape it. Let me check all the formula in here. That's it. That returns a row number if this is true, but in a false argument, it is a div error. That's why it's an error. So now, to eliminate that error and to proceed with returning this 1, this 13, 14 here, we want to return those number, those position of the row. We're going to use the small on that because we wanted to return the first smallest number, second, third, or the 1, 13, 14, and so on. And then at the same time, we're going to remove this div function, div error. So in order to do that, we're going to use the aggregate formula now. So I'm going to write the aggregate here, open parenthesis. It has several function number. It has a lot, like it's 19. But I'm going to use here the 15, which is equivalent to a small comma. Now for the options, it has several options, like 7 options. But in here, again, I'm going to use the 6, which is equivalent to ignore error values to remove those div error. And that's it, comma. Now the array will be this part. This is what we work on. And then comma, the K here is applicable to the small and the large function in the aggregate, and also the independent small and large. So in this case, you wanted to return what small number would you like to return? It's either 1, 2, 3, the first one that it sees, the second, third, and fourth. So that's it. You can input 1, 2, 3, or anything. But in this case, I'm gonna use an array, a range here, because we wanted to return several positioning in here when we copy and paste it. So I'm gonna use now the rows with an S here, and then the array will be, I'm gonna use, actually it's any array, but I'm gonna use my reference here. This is the first one. I'm gonna use the semicolon to make it an array. I'm gonna lock it, this just the first one, so that when I copy and paste it, uh, the range will be moved like in B7, B8, just this part only. So it will be moved like that. So that's it. I close it. Let me check the answer in here. So this is 1. This is 1. And then this is equivalent to F9, that's 2. And 3 and 4, that's it. Let me just remove it. I'm gonna lock it because it's a num. And here and also in here, all the cells should be locked except this part. And then that's it. When I copy and paste it, it returns the particular rows that we need here. This is the 1, this is the 13, 14, and so on. So that is technically the row number in our index of formula. So let me go back to the index, because I wanted to return the specific name of the brand and model of the equipment. So I write it, the index here. The array will be this part. Now the row number will be this aggregate formula in here. I'm gonna enter it. Yes, that's it. I'm gonna first lock it here, and then just drag it here, and yes, that's it. There's a num error in here. You can use the if error if you want, but that will affect the processing of this file, especially when it's a large database. So, because the reason is that the index aggregate is a complex formula um, that will be executed first before the if error. But we wanted to save some processing time, so we're gonna use an if here, so that the if statement we're gonna execute first. It is like a true or false value, leave it blank, something like that, and then the next thing will be to execute the index and aggregate. So I'm gonna write an if statement in here. Then it's the if, and then the logical test is that if this row number in here, row position here, exceed the count of all the list here with 1, for example, it contains 15, 1 here, and then your row position is 16. That's why it returns a num error in here. Then, if that is true, leave it blank. If that is false, then return the index in here. So I'm gonna write the particular rows here that we use, so that when you copy and paste it, it will be updated. And then if that exceeds the count, so I'm gonna use the count if, the count of all, this is the range. And then comma, the criteria will be the changing cell here. If that exceeds the count, total count of that particular criteria that you have, lock it and also lock it. Then comma, if it is true, leave it blank. If it is false, then execute the index and aggregate formula and then close it. And then copy and paste it. That's it. It now removes the num error here, all the num error. So when I choose the 2 here, that's it. 5, only 1, so that's it. Let me go back here in the 2 here. Seems a lot of answers in here, and I wanted my user to further sort it. If this is the case, if it is include a lot of options in here, I wanted to sort it out further with a specific brand, for example. So I'm gonna open this particular file in here, which is on this part. Sorry for this. This is just a reference. And then I'm gonna open my criteria here. Second criteria. So we're now moving with the multiple criteria in here. I'm gonna copy and paste it in here. That's it. Now I'm gonna add this criteria to combine with this first criteria. So we're gonna find it. It's in this part, right? After the division. So we're gonna open it and then combine the next criteria and use the asterisk or open parenthesis and then use this range. If this is no, it's if this criteria is equal to this range, close it and then close it again to combine the two criteria. I'm gonna lock it. Then also adjust your count if here for your if statement. You're using now the Countifs multiple criteria, comma the range is in this model, this brand, comma the criteria is in here, and if it's true, false, execute. That's it. Lock it with a copy and paste. That is the case. Then drag it here. Oh, the valve is just one in here. Match, so yeah, that's correct. It's now reflecting here. So basically that's it. You choose here. There's no brand for that. And that's it. Um, I'm finished here. I'm done. That's the index and aggregate. That's quite a complex formula, but it returns a very useful information for your user based on your objective and in your model. So that's it. If you're liking my videos, you can subscribe in my channel and see you next time and thanks.